Hi, hope you're doing well. I'm going to do a video about rose perfumes, and this is just a random gathering of perfumes that I just found around my house. I'm doing a lot of perfume reorging, so right now I can't find all the ones that I like, but I'm going to present to you some of the ones that I did find that are worth noting. Although they're not all recommendations. They're just like perfumes that are rose centric and I happen to have at the moment. Hope you enjoy it. Anyways, this is called Drole de Rose by L'Artisan Parfumeur. It's one of my favorite houses. And this is a very powdery rose. It's like rose cosmetics. So it's not very rosy. It's mostly powder, but it's like an innocent rose powder, like one of those old-fashioned compacts that you would find, like from the 1920s or something like that. Anyway, if you like to have a vintage cosmetic powder smell that's very unique, try Eau de Rose. That fits into this category. It's quite unique, although it's not rose in the traditional sense. Let me just next show you a very classic sort of French rose, and this is Lancome's Mille Roses, and this is your straightforward classic white floral rose, slightly powdery, very ladylike and refined. So if you'd like something that's not too strong, more refined, more Parisian, kind of cityfied rose, I would say. I wouldn't say this is like a wild rose, like out in the forest or anything, or spicy. It's just like a straightforward, ladylike rose. Very well mannered and clean, but not soapy. Another one that is quite the opposite in what I call a beast mode is this. This is Roses Musk Eau de Parfum by Montale. This is a really famous like Middle Eastern house, and if you can see around the edge of this spigot, it has like all this white powder. So what happened was this was shipped in a box this velveteen bag, but it had this type of prong that they put around, like a fork that they put around the side with a dangling star. That's part of their decor. But what it's supposed to do, it should have acted like a stopper for the perfume, but the way they packed it, it was very poor. So the perfume got sprayed out, and it was so strong that it caused all this condensed crystals on here. And you're just wondering, like, well, why are there still crystals of perfume residue on your bottle? And the answer is because this freaking thing is so strong that I couldn't touch it for like a long, long time. I just basically put it in its dust jacket and in the box in the back of my closet so I don't have to smell it because it was that strong. So Montale actually, and a lot of the Middle Eastern houses actually makes super, super strong perfumes, like highly, highly concentrated. And my take on that is I think it's because of the weather in the Middle East. If you've ever been to a really dry, like desert-like climate, all that dryness sort of like sucks. It hinders your sense of smell. So basically, anything you spray on, you can hardly smell it unless it's like beast mode. But if you use these perfumes in like a more humid climate, like I live by the ocean, which is makes it more humid, then this is like super, super strong. So the first time I sprayed this, it was so strong that, I mean, my eyes watered, So what this is it's like a really realistic rose. It is basically like a photorealistic rose. But what happens is the first several, like 20, 30 minutes is very loud and very shrill. It's like a huge chemical blast. but then it settles down and becomes like a beautiful photorealistic rose. This is one of the most realistic roses that I've ever had, but I'm so afraid of it that I've not, after that first time, I have not tried to spray this again. So that's why it has all this stuff on it, because basically it was in the back of the closet. But I'm glad I have it, and I just wanted to share with you that I have it, because it's part of my collection, and it is unique. So let's come back to a more modern rose and something that's been very popular recently. So this, you may have heard of this perfume. It's called Delina by Parfums de Marly. And this is a French house that has been making waves for the last couple of years. And this perfume I bought because people were recommending it online. And all I have to say about this is, you know what? If you can, get a tester before you go out and buy a full bottle of anything. So this is actually the travel spray, which I'm glad I got, because this is not cheap, but the travel spray set is actually cheaper. It's like more than half it's like half the price, or even more reduced than the original price of the full bottle, which is like $200 or something. So this is like $90, I think. So this is supposed to be a rose and rhubarb, and I love rhubarb. So rhubarb is a root that looks like red celery, but it actually tastes like, it's very tart and very fruity, and it's great mixed with strawberries. I love strawberry and rhubarb, you know, custard, whatever. So I bought this thinking, well, what a winning combination, roses and rhubarb. I mean, it's not bad, but something is missing from this. Like some people online have actually said that they thought it was too tart and too fruity. And there's another Delina that is called Delina Exclusive that has vanilla and other stuff in it that kind of like lightens it up, lychee, I think. So basically, I think I bought the wrong one. But there's quite a few people who like this type of tart rose. It's not lemon. It's kind of like fruity and like rosy at the same time. It's a little bit like, what do you call it? Linear. So it doesn't change much. What you get it the first time you spray it is what you pretty much get throughout the thing. So one thing for it is quite nice. It's feminine. It's nice, but I want something more with more facets in it, you know, for this price and also with my expectations. So in hindsight, I should have bought the Delina Exclusive instead. But anyways, this is still part of my rose collection, and I'm glad to share it with you. It comes in this cool box. I might sell this, actually. We'll see. But on to something a little bit much more universally appealing, and this is this. I don't know if any of you who are perfume like connoisseurs might remember this, but this is the much lamented and now discontinued Bulgari Rose Essentielle. And this was the classic one. They have replaced it with something else in a more expensive line, typical. So it's not called Rose Essentielle anymore. It's Rose something else, but it might be slightly different. Who knows? You know how people like to reformulate stuff. But anyways, this one is a classic. And at first, when I first bought it, I didn't like it. Like I didn't understand why it was so simple and so, you know, whatever. But ever since I've started getting more complicated perfumes like Oud, Spicy Rose, all these weird combinations, I've actually come back to this now and understand why it's like so elegant and simple and pure. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about the fragrance journey. You start out liking simple stuff. Then you kind of climb up and get more complex. Then you kind of go crazy with these weird experimental ones that probably don't even smell good, but you think it's interesting, okay? And you'll accumulate it, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this will be nice for my collection. But then as soon as your nose gets over it, you come back to these simple, pure ones that are just like, you know, easy. No, don't think about it. It makes you smell pretty and clean and nice and, you know, whatever, feminine. and it gives you that type of mood. These are the types of perfumes that are like the mainstays and like the day-to-day, the affectionate ones that you have like affection for, even though they're not the most sophisticated. So this is Bulgari Rose Essential, one of my faves now. Okay, closing it out. I mean, this is by no means all my rose perfumes because I have a ton more, and I'm kind of pissed off because I don't know where they are. I'd have to go search through my closet for them because I switch things around. But here are two that I spent a long time looking for because by the time I found out about them, they were freaking discontinued. And I'm sorry to have to expose you to this since they're discontinued and all, but you know what? This is more about me sharing my thoughts and feelings about the perfume than about anything else. So I'm sure you'll be able to find them like I was if you look closely enough. I mean, if you care to get them, that is. You might not. Because they're not that remarkable, but I like them. Because what happened was I went into the store and I found that they had like what do you call it, tester bottles of this. And I sprayed both of them. And one of them had this amazing dry down note that it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not the rose so much that really enamored me towards it, because I've smelled better roses than these. It was like the bottom note had a note of like, I don't know, how do you call it? Cold cream. It reminds me of cold cream coziness. You know that scent where it's like your own creamy, natural, womanly body scent that is kind of like cold cream or has the comforting texture of cold cream. I don't know how to say it. It's that plus whatever rose thing is on here. That's what I wanted in one of these. So I didn't know which one it was. So basically, even if I wanted to try them out, I couldn't because first of all, by the time I tried on in the store, both of these were no longer available at that store. So first I got this one, and I mean, this is good, but it didn't have that one note. I mean, this is nice. This is like C with a rosy note on it. So you can imagine the winey red, what do you call it? Blackberry or blackcurrant flavor. I mean, smell of C with a stronger rose hint. That's what this is. This is quite nice. And if you have it, please treasure it because I don't think they make this anymore. And it's something that is great. You know what I mean? You can just wear it in a pinch when you feel like some rosy, fruity, red, winey goodness. But this was the one that I was searching for. So they had two. This was the one, I think the first one, or this one was the second one. And this one I was able to find at an outlet store, and it was all battered and bruised. Look, it was all kind of like chipped and fucked up. But, oh, excuse my language. But anyways, it's this one that I liked. So this one has that cold, creamy body odor goodness that I like. So that's that. That was my journey. I'm really glad I have it because now I can, if I want this to smell the scent again, I can have it at my hands. Okay, so the last one for now, but no means the last one, is this. So this is Neela Vermeire. So Neela is a niche artist, perfume artist. She's Indian. And recently there's been like a sort of like mixing of roses with like kind of Middle Eastern spices and stuff like that, incense such as oud and stuff like that, to make things and leather and saffron and stuff like that, to make things very exotic and less like rose water smelling and fresh and pure like the English rose is. And this is one of them, but this is an Indian take. So this take is not thick and dense like the typical Middle Eastern ouds are. It's not really woody. What it is it's like a rose with a little bit of fruit and a little bit of saffron, but it's transparent. So this is like saffron transparent incense rose. it's like a really clear textured rose, but it's still heady at the same time. So you can imagine heady saffron rose, which is transparent and can be worn during the summertime. So this is one of my newest fragrances. It's very expensive, but it's worth it. It's really nice. Look at this beautiful fluted bottle, quite heavy. It has this gorgeous like cap with these with an Indian motif on top, or Orientalish type motif. So if you have a chance to try it, maybe you should spritz it on. This is Neela Vermeire Moher. This is it, called Moher, and this is her rose fragrance. I also have another one of her perfumes. It's kind of mango and fruity and sparkly, and it's called Bombay Bling, and that one's one of my favorites for summer too. Thanks. And that's it for this video on rose perfumes that I just had within hand's grasp at this moment. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have a link. I'll have a list of the perfumes below for you to reference if you feel like going out and trying it on your own. Thank you for watching this, and sorry for my amateurish enthusiasm. I get carried away. Yeah, but most perfume people do. It's our passion. So till next time, have a good day. Bye.